So talking last night on the phone, and I don't know how much of it I can say right now, guys, but I'm telling you, there are some major partnerships that are already lined up that'll be being announced in the near future, where there are major entities that are going to be using WeFi's rails, the blockchain infrastructure that they built in order to run their entire crypto ecosystems. And I am talking; these are gigantic ecosystems, right? A lot of people out there are excited about Ripples because Ripples is doing some stuff with some banks. I believe equally as powerful is what is WeFi is doing in the background and what is coming in the banking side of things. I will even go as far as saying that from some maybe they're rumors, maybe they're not, came from a pretty good place. There are countries that are talking to WeFi about using their rails in order to run their whole Bitcoin or crypto infrastructure in their countries. That's how serious. This is how advanced the development is of WeFi. I had some questions that I had asked the company guys, and of course, I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to blockchain, cryptocurrency, when it comes to tokenomics, technology, and that type of stuff. So I wrote up some questions and I sent them over, and they said, "Oh, we'll get some answers for you." They came back and they said, "Who the heck wrote this? We're not answering this because we'll answer these questions after we launch in Europe because these are trade secrets the questions that were asked are trade secrets that where we are way ahead of anybody else that has in this space right now, and we want to make sure that we launch it before anybody else sees it because it'll be easy for someone to just go, oh, let me go copy that. And these guys have spent 5 years developing technology where you can have a decentralized wallet without seed words, where you can have this the swapping of assets without having to go through bridges and those type of things that are actually dangerous in the crypto space, right? When you're using any type of bridges in those things. So we're not talking about somebody who just said, hey, we're going to come up with a new name and we're going to launch this new. We're literally talking about people that have created innovative concepts and ideas and technology and algorithms and blockchain technology that will allow for the simplicity. He said it in the video, right? We've taken the complex crypto side of crypto that has held it back from going to the masses, right? Held it back from 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion people jumping in and using crypto up to this point. We've solved those problems, and that's what we're rolling out. And the token that you're mining through these ITO units is the token that benefits from these innovations, from going out and changing the world. And I got to tell you, maybe if you would have known Reeve Collins in 2013, Reeve would have come out and said, hey, I figured out a way to help the entire crypto industry go into the trillions of dollars. And you would have said, well, come on, what do you know, right? And he says, no, I've got this project. It's called stable coins. And these stable coins, they are going to become the foundation of crypto. You probably would have said he was nuts, but it was true. And he's going to do it again. He's doing it right now, and he's doing it with WeFi. And that is the opportunity that we have in front of us. And he's put together a dynamite team, a team with banking background, a team with technology background, a team with all of the necessary parts and pieces of putting this thing together. They have solved and put together. And by the way, they own 0 WeFi tokens unless they went and bought them in the marketplace. They didn't set up a bunch of miners and said, well, look, we're the 5 founders. Why don't we each take 2% of the tokens ourselves? No. Oh, wait a minute. We have developers working on this. No, we'll pay the developers. They're not getting any tokens. oh, do we need to raise some money? Well, we have WeFi.co. We'll raise money using the company assets, not the token, not the decentralized asset. So we're not going to sell any tokens to VCs. Well, what about influencers? We don't need influencers. We have the people who are mining the token, people like Peter and Bill and Kevin, and that are out sharing this with other people. So those are the influencers that's why we're called in the back office KOLs, right? Key opinion leaders. We are out sharing and growing this. We don't need other people to help us do this. And so 100% of all the tokens mined are going to the community, the customers, the bank, the DO banking customers that are getting the mortgages, that are getting the car loans, that are getting that. And then they're saying, hey, look, let's take all these fees. Remember when I showed in the beginning, $1.2 trillion in net income with $5.5 trillion in revenue? Those are the fees. That revenue are the fees that we're talking about. Think about 5.5. Let's say we cut it in half because we're going to be cheaper and more efficient. It's only a couple of $1 trillion in fees. 50% of those fees are going to be paid out to who? The community, the customers, especially the early adopters, the people that are mining the tokens right now by buying the ITO units. This is an incredible opportunity in front of us, guys. It is the iceberg breaker, right? To open up the waters for Web3 to finally take root, and for us to be able to take our power, my shopping power, my spending power, my eyeball power, my data power, and utilize that to help Web3 entrepreneurs launch successful businesses, create the next trillion-dollar company. Facebook $1 trillion, Tesla $1 trillion, Amazon $2 trillion. Think about if those were all Web3 entrepreneurs that opened up the door to a community of its customers and said, instead of going the traditional route, I'm going to go this route. But in order for that to happen, guys, we need to start moving in that direction. If I'm an entrepreneur and I'm standing out there, and saying, hey, I'm going to launch my business, I'm going to use Web3. Well, where are all the Web3 people? Hey, I don't know. Is somebody going to support me now? I got to go the traditional route, and I got to go raise money from VCs and friends and family and do it the traditional route. This is why it's so important for us to engage in Web3 and start to change. Look, we can sit there and complain about the rich keep getting richer. I said it to my daughter, and she's like, $800 billion? Why does somebody need that kind of money? You take the risk, you run the thing, you do it through the traditional system, you end up with a bunch of ownership, you end up there. But imagine if he would have created that using Web3, and instead maybe he had $30 billion, and the rest of that would have went out to a community of people who are passionate, who are willing to engage and be a part of that success. That's exactly what we're doing right now with WeFi. WeFi has the potential to WeFi.co. Between that and the token, I believe it has a potential. Their goal is 1 billion banking customers. And my estimate is, when I sit down and look at all the math, 1 billion banking customers would easily relate to a couple of $1 trillion in value between the token and WeFi.co. We're involved in a part of both of it. And imagine 1 billion customers, even if it was $1 a month in banking fees that were being generated from each customer, just $1. I guarantee you I pay more than $1 a month in banking fees, right? And if you start mortgages, car loans, all of that stuff you include in it, you'd probably be $5, $10 per customer, $5-10 billion every single month in banking fees being paid, and 50% right off the top, not of the profits, but right off the top being paid out to the community. This could literally generate 50, 60 billion, 100 billion, $200 billion a year in residual income back to its customers, back to the people who helped grow the network, helped share it with other people, and said, you know what, let's go out and make Web3 the predominant way that capitalism is done around the world. Any questions?
Wow. Ryan had a question.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Peter, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
Terrific. Yeah, got you, buddy.
Yeah, I was just, I had a question about, you said that they're going to be doing layer two layer two projects on the Wi-Fi rails? Like, could you go into be a little bit more specific, like countries or?
So here's the thing, guys. Right now we're on the BNB network, okay? And the reason why is because there's lots of chains out there, chains you've never even heard of. As a matter of fact, when I was just on there on CoinMarketCap, I pulled it up and there's all these chains, 60, 70, 80 chains. Most of those chains are going down the tubes, right? There's only a few chains that actually have traction on them. Base, BNB, Solana. And the reason why those chains cannot make it is they don't have the community support, right? So here's the way that WeFi has set it up. They have phenomenal technology that they're going to roll out. So at some point, we will launch, right now it's a token. It will become a coin and it will have its own infrastructure. We'll have our own blockchain that will go out and interact in incredible ways with other blockchains out there, probably that hasn't been done before. At that point, then other projects will build on that chain. Okay. Those are the blockchain rails that they're building. That the system is here's the blockchain, here's a chain that does this, here's a chain that does this. So they're building infrastructure. They've been building it for 5 years now. That infrastructure is what people need in order to do this new form of finance, right? And build on it. And so right now they're in talks with countries to say, hey, we'll provide the back end of your crypto system, right? Because it's not like everybody just has them laying around. You can't use Bitcoin, it's too slow. Ethereum, a little bit too expensive. When you start looking at the chains that have been involved in there, Solana's not bad. It's less than a penny per transaction. You got to get the transaction cost down. You need to make it to where currently right now, you still need to be on the Solana blockchain. I got to go get a Phantom wallet. I got to go get seed words. I got to go do all the problems that has held crypto back. The reason why people will want to use these rails and put it together is because that none of that stuff will be necessary. It'll almost just be like I went and just opened up a Bank of America account. Doesn't really take much to do that, right? I walk in, I open up the account, I sign up for online access, and boom, I've got access. What do I need for online access? I need a password and I need an email account. Boom, I'm there. Throw in some two-factor authentication. I've got security and I've got safety. Throw in some insurance from Fireblocks on my account, and now all of a sudden, if my account gets hacked, I get back the funds that I've lost. You begin to build. So that's the type of stuff where they're working with. And I don't know if I can mention the one company that is actually going to use the Rails, so I'm not going to, because I didn't ask if I could share it. But I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of great stuff happening. In this side of things, guys, on the affiliate side of things, sometimes I feel like, because I've done affiliate marketing before, okay? And affiliate marketing usually are networking type stuff. The distributors, especially people like me who recommended 800 and something people and created over close to $800,000 in volume, they usually really go out of their way. That doesn't happen here, guys, because these guys are building a neobank. They spend their days negotiating and building technology. We are helping. And the reward for them helping is not them clapping when Peter comes out on stage and, or giving me some type of, goofy thing. So, that's why when you see, we hit level 6, they didn't put it on social media. Oh, congratulations, Peter went this or whatever it is. They don't do that type of stuff here, guys, because this is a serious business. They just happen to use affiliate marketing in order to help build the customer base because it was the best way for them to be able to share 50% of the assets, 50% of the revenue, because again, this is the participatory economy. It's not just, hey, you're a customer, everybody gets the same. If you're willing to help build the customer base, you should get rewarded for that. So they definitely have some very good partnerships. We're going to allow for them to announce them. This was shared with us, in a private setting. That some of these partnerships and things that have been put together. But it's extensive, guys. And when they announce them, if it's not, then you can call me up and say you lied to me, Peter, but you're not going to be saying that I lied to you. because they are serious partnerships that are taking place. And that shows the value of the technology that they have, right? These are not the kind of companies that you just go, oh, I can do that for you. And they go, oh, yeah, okay, great. You have to prove that you can handle the transactions. You have to prove that your blockchain is, safe and that type of stuff. So, and again, major, 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 major partnership that has already been, it's from what my understanding, it's already done. They just haven't announced it yet. They'll probably be announcing it when they launch Europe, but just major things that are happening in the background. And remember, 50% of all the transactions that come through the company get distributed out to the community. Well, if somebody's using the blockchain rails, they're paying money to use those rails. That would mean that's a transaction fee, which means that would essentially be paid out to the community um, for whatever that is, whether it's a tenth of a penny or a dollar or whatever that side of it is. This technology is being recognized by some major, major players out there, guys, including, like I said, there are countries that are in talks with WeFi to run it would essentially be their deal banking background, right? So you have your banking system, your traditional banking system, where you have computers and databases and software that runs it, right? Ledgers and all that stuff. Well, the same thing in the crypto blockchain space, there's blockchains that run that. So that's the blockchain that these countries will use. Now, what powers that blockchain? Oh, the WFI token. Oh my goodness gracious. Wouldn't that mean that the token would be valuable if there are countries that are using the blockchains and their gas settlements and things like that are done in the WFI token? Wouldn't that give it stronger utility in order to help drive the value of the token?
All righty. A couple other questions. About the US issue that arose yesterday. Peter, can you put your
Yep. At
yeah.
this point, guys, they've made a decision that they're using geo, fencing in order to prevent people from in the US to be able to log in. So I would recommend what I've done is I got a VPN and I'm able to log in no problem and see my account. To me, it says we're getting ready to launch the banks in Europe, and we want to make sure we've dotted the I's and crossed the T's. As a matter of fact, if you log into your back office, I'll share my screen right here into if you're recommending and sharing people, they actually just put a bunch of do's and don'ts of things that we can say. I had to kind of adjust what I was saying a couple times just for that reason here. So you've got, what the token is. There's some things, right, on here of it. So there's some things here that I'm sure I didn't do all of them, but hey, what the heck?
And for
On
people
that
who
side.
aren't in the sale point back office yet, because they're not building, so they don't have access to that. I did put that in my email that went out to everybody today. I attached those do's, don'ts, and risky phrases, so you can
And we
find
got a
them there.
response from corporate, and Sharona sent that out to everybody, to you guys. So you can read that response
Yes,
directly from WeFi Corporate.
yes, that was thanks to Keith who
Yes.
questioned that and got
Thank
that
you.
reply. Thank you, Keith.
Yeah.
And let's see, Ryan also had a question. Are the transactions you showed in your back office from your downline, or are they global fees being shared with you? I think that was when you
They
were talking
are
about your pennies,
they
pennies, pennies.
They are from some from my direct line, and then some from above me from other. I don't have that many people with Visa cards in our group because again, most of them are based here in the United States. So those are from the people above me that once I reached level 4, I now share in the transactions. At one point, we believed it was global transactions. Right now, I do understand that it's from the top of the company on down throughout that side is what you're sharing in. And then, of course, when you hit level 11, you basically share in all the different lines that are there. And I put the question is how many lines are there? Is there 2, 3, 5 that come directly off the company? But that's actually the clearance on that right there. So it's significant, right? I make over $100 a day right now, about $3,000 a month off of the residual from that line at this point. And eventually that will go up dramatically, actually, because right now there's not, the Visa cards just were really issued in most places just a few weeks ago. So that's just starting to go. And the purchasing on the WFI token was just done here, not that, just like a week or two ago that came into effect. And then also there's no DO banking, full service DO bank anywhere in the world. There's just the Visa card in a lot of places. Um, so Europe will be the first place where people will be able to start doing additional transactions. And the line that we are in is more than 40,000, almost 50,000 people right now. So it's almost a quarter of the entire people that are in all of WeFi. So that's basically at level 4. That's what you're sharing in, is the breakage of that entire 40 something people. And it's the fastest growing group in all of the entire thing. So at some point it'll have millions of people that are involved with it. And that'll continue to move forward from there. But very strong presence in Europe, guys, because Frankie, the person who kind of started the whole line, he is from Ireland, so he's an Irishman. So he had global contacts. So where we're sharing in that line is global. It's in I don't remember how many countries, but I thought he said 70 or 80 countries that he has team members in right now around the world, and it's growing every single day. An incredible number. So, he's growing by thousands and thousands and thousands of people a month.
Drew made a comment in the chat that you have to use the WeChain site, not the WeFi site with the VPN. I don't know.
I only what do I use? I think I use maybe they don't have let's see. What am I using right now? WeChain.ai, yeah. WeFi. Are you talking about the WeFi.co?
Probably, yeah.
I'm going to go in there right now. .com.
And JE confirmed that for himself.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, good to know. WeFi.co gets the 403 forbidden.
Okay.
Great info sharing.
Actually, guys, I would say with your VPN, I'm using Brave VPN, and it actually took me to WeFi.co. I am using the United Kingdom. So that's where my VPN is through, is the United Kingdom. Also, too, guys, I do use Brave. And the reason why I use Brave, it's a Web3 decentralized project. So I'm trying to shift as much of my daily spending as I can to Web3 projects, because at the end of the day, I believe that we need to make that the key of it. So I do use Brave. It's not that expensive, $99 a year for the Brave VPN browser. I was using, but we're moving it over. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody being here. Let's keep going out and sharing. And we're getting close on the marketing system, guys. We're going to do another walkthrough on Friday. We created a bunch of slides and questions and things. So Friday night, guys, it will not be a short 30-minute presentation, because it's not a presentation. It's actually meant to be a seminar. And the seminar is about an hour to an hour and a half. Our goal is to educate people on Web3 and ask questions and get interaction with the audience. We'll actually have the webinar set up. This is a meeting style. It'll actually be webinar style. So we'll have a Q&A area, and then we'll have a way we can leave chat on for people to respond and stuff like that. So we're going to have a good time Friday night. If that goes well, then we'll start marketing and advertising. Our marketing and advertising right now, guys, is going to focus exclusively on English-speaking countries in Europe and a few other areas to bring in people. One of those is Canada, of course, because it's fully available there in Canada. Sharona does not need to use a VPN, do you, Sharona?
No, I don't.
Excellent. So if you know anybody in Canada that's a great place to contact and talk to people. Anyway, guys, have a
Mhm.
great evening. Thank you so
Yep,
much,
just
and we'll
I'll
see
be
you Friday.
I will be sending out an email with the invite for Friday night. Please know it will be a different Zoom link because it will be a webinar link.
Yep.
So just double check on that. I'll put neon lights and flashing in the email so that people notice it. And we will see you Friday.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.